Fat loss is actually pretty simple, but there's one specific part of it that feels awful. And because it feels awful, most people avoid it, which ends up costing them the lean physique they're after. So in a second, I'm going to show you exactly where people go wrong and the simple shift that makes fat loss almost automatic. Okay, so let me show you the mistake that most people make. So I've got this friend who's been trying to get lean for just over a year now. And to be fair, he does a lot right. He lifts 3 to 4 times a week. He eats pretty clean through Monday through to Thursday, and he even tracks his calories throughout the week. But then Friday hits. A few drinks, a late night out, a takeaway, maybe another takeaway the next day, and before you know it, he's wiped out an entire calorie deficit for the week in 48 hours. Then come Monday, he's right back on track again. Maybe he adds a new habit, maybe he tries something new, but he thinks this thing is going to help him get lean. But it's like trying to fly a hot air balloon with the pegs still nailed into the ground and sandbags on top. You can blast as much heat as you want into the balloon. It's not going anywhere. And that's exactly what's happening here. He doesn't have a fat loss problem. He has a Friday to Sunday problem, a self-sabotage problem, a one habit undoing everything problem. You see, most people understand the power of adding good habits, but they massively underestimate the power of removing bad ones. You see, the thing about bad habits is they feel good when you're doing them, but they don't do much good for you. And that's the shift. Stopping your worst habit will get you to your goal faster than starting a new one, because you can only ever be as good as your worst habit. And here's the part that messes with people's heads. When you drop a bad habit, you won't see it straight away. So you won't see it on the scale, or you might not even see it in the mirror. But what you've actually done is take a massive leap forward on what I like to call the invisible progress chart. And the irony behind the name is that most people quit because they can't see the progress that they've already made. Now, obviously, if stopping bad habits was as easy as just deciding to, then everybody would be lean with 6-packs. So the question is, how do you actually do it? How do you stop the bad habits that are holding you back without just falling straight back into them? Well, first, you need to get crystal clear on what you're actually trying to do. So here are 4 questions you need to answer. What body fat percentage are you trying to reach? Where are you right now? What do you need to get there? And what do you need to avoid doing? I call these the core 4 because without them, you have no direction. You're just hoping and praying things work. Now, answering those alone will put you ahead of most people. But without this next part, it won't last. And that's because this is the glue that holds everything together. Think of it like a stool. You've got 4 legs, but without the seat, it doesn't stand. Now think of this seat as your reason why. But this is where most people mess it up. They ask themselves, why do you want to lose fat? Once. And then give surface level BS answers like, I want to look better and I want abs. That's weak. That's not strong enough. You need to be annoying with it. You know, like those annoying kids that constantly ask why, the curious ones. Yeah, you need to be like them. You need to ask yourself why, then ask yourself why, then ask yourself again and again and again until you get something real like, I'm tired of being someone who knows what to do but doesn't do it. I don't want to keep letting myself down. I want to actually respect how I live again. That's the kind of answer that sticks. That's the kind of answer that means something. And once you got that, here's how you actually start fixing the habit that's holding you back. Don't rely on willpower because it runs out. Change your setup instead. Make the bad habits harder to do and the good ones easier. So instead of telling yourself you're not going to drink this weekend, plan something else. You remove the trigger. You don't put yourself in the same situation because fat loss gets a whole lot easier when you're not at constant battle with yourself. Now look, at some point this stops being about fat loss and it becomes about, do you actually trust yourself to do what you already know you need to be doing? Because most people don't fail from a lack of information. They fail in the moments that they know what the right choice is and still don't make it. And that's the real difference. Fix that and everything else starts to take care of itself. But here's what most people miss, because consistency isn't just about mindset in the moment. There's a few simple things that quietly decide whether you're going to stay on track or not. And if you want to understand that properly, watch this video where I break down the 3 things that actually decide whether you stay consistent, lose fat, and get lean.